Hey everyone. Welcome to the Women's Appreciation Day live stream. And I want to go ahead and show my appreciation to the women out there. But before we go any further, I'm going to show y'all a little something real quick. Let me see if I still have the video. All right, here we go.
It's Women's History Month, a dedicated time to honor the myriad contributions women have made throughout history. From the days of queens and warriors to modern scientists and political leaders, women have continually reshaped the world in extraordinary ways. Let's take a moment to delve into the origins of Women's History Month. It all began humbly in Sonoma County, California, back in 1978, when a local school district celebrated Women's History Week. Coinciding with International Women's Day on March 8th, this initiative captured attention and inspired communities nationwide. The concept gained momentum, leading to its expansion into Women's History Month in 1987, an official national observance in the United States. In this month, we commemorate the achievements of women who have pushed boundaries in every field of endeavor. Think of Marie Curie, the pioneering physicist and chemist, whose groundbreaking research on radioactivity earned her 2 Nobel Prizes. Or Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who spent her career fighting for gender equality and became a Supreme Court justice icon. Their stories, among countless others, remind us of the resilience and intellect women have brought to the table across different eras and cultures. One key aspect of Women's History Month is education, seeking to correct the underrepresentation of women's narratives in history. For centuries, the lives and achievements of women were brushed aside or minimized. This month becomes not only a time for remembrance, but also a collective effort to rewrite history more inclusively, ensuring future generations understand the comprehensive tapestry of human progress. It's also vital to acknowledge the ongoing struggles women face globally. Despite significant strides, challenges persist, from the gender pay gap to lack of representation in leadership roles and systemic injustices. Women's History Month is a celebration, but it is also a call to action, a reminder that the pursuit of equality and justice continues. Consider the women around us, the scientists battling climate change, the educators shaping young minds, and the activists standing on the front lines of social justice. These stories are unfolding now, shaping our future. This month encourages us to listen, learn, and amplify their voices, ensuring that our shared history values their contributions accurately. As we navigate through March, we find strength and inspiration in the legacies of trailblazing women, and in the aspirations of those who forge ahead today. Women's History Month is more than a celebration of past accomplishments. It is a promise to cherish and harness the potential of all women, to cherish their accomplishments, and, importantly, to advocate for a future where gender equality is a realized ideal. In conclusion, while March may come and go, the spirit of Women's History Month should remain evergreen, compelling us to recognize and value the profound roles women continue to play in shaping our societies. Let this month serve as a springboard for ongoing dialogue, reflection, and action, ensuring that women's history is celebrated not just in March, but every day.
Well, and as you see, it, they say it says a whole lot, and women do contribute to society. And the thing, and you know, you have people, you have those who are, those who want to diminish women's accomplishments. And as of right now, I want to go ahead and I want, because here's the thing. And I know that women contribute so much, and they get overlooked because again, you have the manosphere diminishing women's accomplishments, saying that doesn't matter and everything else. Well, here's the thing. It actually does, when because here's the thing. And as you heard in the video, there are women out there who are educators and all of the above. The one thing, uh I've uh, I've watched the movie last night, and the movie was called Queen of the Ring. Now, I don't know if anyone knows the name of Meredith. Um, Dang it, I already forgot her name. But yeah, when it comes to women's wrestling, there are pioneers from back in the day, before the women's revolution happened and everything. There were already women in professional wrestling, trying to make women's wrestling, you know, be, trying to make it. Hmm, how can I put this? Y- You know, tr- well, I would say trying to make it, make it popular, or well, what I'm saying is they try to get women's wrestling out there, you know, and and for um well, I'm gonna give y'all a well, let me show y'all what I'm talking about real quick. Now, what I'm going to show y'all is it is a trailer for the Queen of the Ring movie, and I have I'm glad that women or when they talk about Women's History Month and everything, they bring up women doing being Supreme Court justices, being educators, being nurses, doctors, um, hmm, and and all of the above, even going into the military. But right now, I want to show y'all a little I want to show y'all something because here's the thing. In a time when the pro wrestling for women, was illegal all over the country, a small town single mother embraces will go on ahead and embrace the danger to change culture as she dominates America's most masculine sport to become the first $1 million woman athlete in history. And this movie is based on the book Queen of the Ring by Jeff Lynne, and the story and the life story of Mildred Burke. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show a trailer, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all something else. But right now, I want to show y'all the trailer for the movie. It came out on March 7th. If y'all didn't see the movie, I would say I would say you all need to see the movie. You all will not be disappointed. So here goes the trailer for the movie.
Oh, hi. My dream. Only dreams that we make come true. Are we? Moving which way? Oh, those bad. Two. I promise you, my son, our lives together will be special. Where's your little boy's father? Mr. I ain't gonna marry no circus freak. He don't let me over this. I'm really curious to see what you can do with her. You know him. He's the only man that's ever believed in my dream. I got a job to do tonight. Go out there and sleep. Line arenas. I know that we can. I want to talk to you about putting two of my girls on your card. My main event is heavyweights and why would anyone want to limit the spectacle of competition based on gender? Looks like we're cleaning up every night of the week now. It's got me thinking, Billy. I want us secure as equal partners. Then do what's right for business. On the deal, and we shoot. You will do what I say, or you will find yourself cleaning toilets in some arena after my show comes through.
All the tickets to Ever So Bad. Your name on them. Nice.
Mr. McMahon, how can I get a guarantee that my ladies can wrestle in the state of New York? Let's show them how we do it in the South.
Two. Warm up, get up. One.
I'm actually the highest paid female athlete in Washington in history.
Yeah, that was the trailer for the movie. And what I'm going to do right now is also show y'all. It's also tell y'all, who's playing who. Um, we have is the movie stars Emily Beth Rickards as Mildred Burke, and they're doing a comparison to the actors versus the real people that they're playing and everything. And this right here is Mildred Burke. This woman right here is Mildred Burke. And she is the first woman's wrestler to be to be, I think, six figures, because I know that women in women's basketball and everything, they get paid too, but when it comes to wrestling, you know, it's a whole. The men, and especially the women, they make good money. But yeah, this is Mildred Burke, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mildred Burke, and I'm gonna show y'all some others. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show y'all some others real quick, because believe it or not, there were black women who also was in wrestling back then too. But yeah, what y'all see is Mildred Burke, and she is being played by Emily Beth Rickards in the movie Queen of the Ring. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let the thing play some more, and you'll see, you know, because this is part of women's history. And yep, there's Mildred wrestling with another woman, and there's another one. There's another picture of her wrestling with, with another woman, and that's when she was when she won the women's world title. And this is the WWE Hall of Fame legacy that happened in 2026. You have Luthez with the NWA, with the first version of the NWA World Heavyweight title. Then you have Sailor Art Thomas, and then right there you have Mildred Burke, along with Ed the Strangler Lewis, Pat O'Connor, and George Hankenschmidt. And I'm thinking that also on the birthday stream, which will be next, it will be next Tuesday. I will be talking about George Hankenschmidt, because WrestleMania is coming up and everything. So yeah, but anyways, I wanted to keep this going.
16. In Queen of the Ring, she's played by Emily Bett Rickards, who's best known for her role in the TV series Arrow. Rickards has also acted in a few films, including a supporting role in the 2015 film Brooklyn, which was nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. This won't be her first starring role either. She played the title character in 2024's Calamity Jane. Billy Wolfe took up wrestling after being drafted into the military in World War I. That career led to Missouri State title in 1923, but soon he had moved on to training women, including Burke, whom he eventually married. Wolfe was a known womanizer, and he and Burke separated in 1952, causing Burke to be frozen out of the all-powerful National Wrestling Alliance. Despite those conflicts, Wolfe did have a positive legacy in women's wrestling. He helped make it profitable and moved it beyond a sideshow act. He also created a women's tag team title and helped to integrate black wrestlers into the sport. He died in 1963 at age 66. Josh Lucas plays Wolfe in the film. Lucas has played both villains and love interests throughout his career, so he fits the bill. His notable credits include American Psycho, Sweet Home Alabama, Hulk, Stealth, and most recently, The Black Demon and Blood for Dust. Clara Mortensen was the first woman Burke defeated for championship gold. Mortensen lost the Women's World Championship to Burke in January 1937, having held it since 1932. In their rematch, Mortensen won the championship back, and the pair would feud throughout the rest of their careers. Mortensen was a major draw in the late 1930s and early 1940s, and according to wrestling history, she was also billed as the Women's World Lightweight Champion. Mortensen retired from the ring in 1951 when she started acting and advising in Hollywood. It's appropriate that a woman who is herself a multi-time champion and who's
Clara Morstein is being she was a part of the early days of women's wrestling, and she's being played by Toni Storm, who is the women's world champion in all elite wrestling and everything. But yeah, what I'm showing y'all now is the wrestlers who back then in the early days was trying to get women's wrestling to go mainstream. But yeah, I'm gonna keep keep playing the video.
Wrestling character is a throwback to Mortensen's era is playing her, AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm. Storm had championship runs in Stardom and indie promotions before making her way to WWE in 2017. She requested her release there in late 2021. making her AEW debut in 2022 and going on to major success there. Despite the cinematic thrust of her character, timeless Toni Storm, this is her first film role. It's crazy, isn't it? It's come full circle. It really has. June Byers was another of Burke's in-ring rivals, but when they locked up, it was personal. Byers was Billy Wolf's daughter-in-law, and there was genuine heat between them, leading to a 1954 grudge match turned shoot fight in Atlanta. The referee was loyal to Wolf and called the match in Byers' favor. News reports that Byers had defeated Burke led her to lose some of her prestige. Byers would become the face of women's wrestling for years afterward and was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2017. Byers is played by the Brickhouse Camille, an AEW talent most recently seen alongside Mercedes Moné before the pair had a storyline falling out. Camille is probably best known for her time as NWA Women's Champion, making her a perfect fit for the film, her first venture into Hollywood. If there's any wrestler in Queen of the Ring modern fans are likely to recognize, it's Mae Young, who appeared on WWE television well into her 80s, as late as 2013. While still in high school, Young approached Burke at a show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to challenge her to a match. Burke offered up a different opponent instead, and Young defeated her in a shoot in seconds. Young quickly became a member of Burke and Wolf's stable. She and Burke were two of the first women to travel to Japan after World War II to wrestle, and also the first women to wrestle in Canada. Francesca Eastwood, the daughter of Clint Eastwood and Frances Fisher, plays Young in the film. In addition to starring in movies including Jersey Boys, Outlaws and Angels, and Clawfoot, she appeared alongside her mother in an episode of Fargo, where they played the same character at different ages. After Burke was frozen out of the NWA, she consulted promoter Jack Pfeffer for help. Pfeffer would go on to book Burke, Young, and many more women in the decades after Burke and Wolf's falling out. Pfeffer often described pro wrestling as more theater than competition, to the outrage of his fellow promoters, pioneering what would become known as sports entertainment. Walton Goggins brings considerable clout to the role of Pfeffer, coming off an Emmy win for his role in the Amazon series Fallout. Goggins is known for immersing himself in his many TV and film roles, so there's no doubt he'll find a way to embody the eccentric promoter.
Why would anyone want to limit the spectacle of competition based on gender?
With his over-the-top charisma and flamboyance, Gorgeous George was the biggest star professional wrestling had ever seen to date during the time Burke was coming up. Though not much is known about their relationship, the pair were close friends early in their careers, which will be explored in the movie. Gorgeous George was one of the first stars to embrace pageantry and showmanship ahead of his matches during the first golden age of wrestling. The over-the-top role will be played by Australian actor Adam Dimas. He's only appeared in 3 other films thus far in his career, but had success in television, most recently as the lead in Rescue High Surf. He's best known for his roles in the Lifetime series Unreal and the Netflix show Sex Life. Modern look. Thick, absorbent layers.
But yeah, so those are the now those are the people who are playing the people who are playing people from way back then. This was before either one of us was born. And the thing of it is that as usual, I don't think they get talked about as much, but today we are going to remember some women who also pioneered women's wrestling, because in my opinion, they should never be forgotten, ever. Because I want y'all to think about it. If it wasn't for Meredith, well, my bad, y'all. If it wasn't for Mildred Burke and all the women's wrestlers that came before the women who are wrestling today, women's wrestling would not be as popular. You know, if it wasn't for Mildred Burke and and everyone, and all the women's wrestlers back then pitching in and wanting to help get women's wrestling out there. So, and of course, there's always been black women in the professional wrestling industry. And even going all the way back then to into the time of the Mildred Burks. And the thing of it is again, they haven't been talked about as much as they should. And I find it sad because, like I said, if it wasn't for Mildred Burke and all them, women's wrestling will not exist today. If it wasn't for them. But yeah, I will and another thing, Bianca Belair, she held the women's title. Matter of fact, she is the first ever African American women's wrestler to have held the title from WrestleMania, from the time she won it at WrestleMania 38 all the way until 2023. And now she retained the title at WrestleMania 39. I mean, it's on YouTube if anyone wants to, see the match. The match is on YouTube. But yeah, if it wasn't for those women that you've seen in the trailer, if it wasn't for them, women's wrestling will not exist today. So, if you want to talk about a women's revolution of wrestling, should we say that women like Mildred Burke and also the other women, matter of fact, the man that was talked about actually integrated. He integrated women's wrestling. Both white and black women were competing under one roof. Under one roof. But yeah, that, But yeah, you know, like I said, um, when it comes to women's history, all of women's history should be told. And hang on, because when you actually think about it, women was out here doing more than just being teachers, being CEOs, judges, astronauts, and yeah, even running track and playing basketball. They were also in the professional wrestling business. And I just want to come out and say this. I believe that all aspects of women's history should be talked about. I believe that. And I just want to say I applaud the people that made the movie Queen of the Ring. Because it taught me things that I didn't know. And what it also did was show me mm, it showed me that women can, you know, that women can go out there and and you know do what other people can do. And that's the thing about it. And that's and what I'm saying is what when women's every time women's well what I'm saying is every time women's history month comes up, I believe that women's history month should be every month, but every time it comes up I believe that every aspect of women's history should be told. That's what I believe. I believe that every aspect of it, you know. And with that, you know, I do believe that more stories should be like Queen of the Ring, and I do think it's time that a story about Wilma Rudolph be made. I actually think it's time. Uh, because again, when it comes down to it, I believe that at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this to, to say that, hey, maybe, we should be talking. And what I'm saying is, I believe that every aspect of women's history should be told. There should be no parts of it left out. And the story about the women who did everything they could to go ahead and put women's wrestling on the map. I do believe and think that it should be talked about always. And there are several things I would like to say. Uh, like again, Mil and I'm gonna say this: Mildred Burke's story is actually an awesome story. A single mother that grew up and had a dream and she went for it. And now because of her, women's wrestling is now on the map. And yeah, there was struggles that Miss Burke faced and the other women who were also who was also wrestling during that time too. And as you've seen in the trailer, they had supporters for women's wrestling. I just want to say, um, that yeah, I believe that all aspects of women's wrestling should be taught. You know, not ignored. But for to me, I believe that in the near future, there's going to be more movies like what I showed y'all that will be coming out, you know. And we had one about Carlisha Shields that came out in December. Carlisha Shields, one of oh yeah, Carlisha Shields, one of one of yeah, I would say the greatest boxers to women's boxers today. You know, and I think that Ryan Destiny um did good in the movie. But yeah, there are so many things that women have done to change the world and everything. Um, Now y'all may be wondering, you know, mm, and yeah, there are more. Um, Let me see if I can. Y'all will have to excuse me. I've been working today and forgot to wear a coat to work. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all some more of the cast in the movie because there were more. Um, and also, they in the movie in the thing that they were talking about. Yeah, they again, you have Emily Beth Rickards as Mildred Burke, and this is Gladys Gillum right here. And she wrestled during that time too. And then you have June Byers, and let's see, you have, and this is a black woman that was in the professional wrestling business when Mildred Burke was around. Her name is Ethel Johnson. Her birth name is Ethel Balan, and she Wingo. Yeah, but yeah, and Ethel Johnson. is one of the first black women's wrestler. She is the first black women's wrestler to become women's champion. And yeah, I wish I can go over more with you guys, but as of right now, I have to get back to work. Um, I would like to thank everyone who came to the live stream, and I'm sorry about the about the pausing and yeah. So again, I would like to thank everyone for coming. Make sure to like, comment, share this video, and also subscribe to the channel and make sure you're notified whenever I drop a video or do a live. Um, I'm I'm your host, Alexander Brandon, and until next time, love, peace, and happiness, and and happy International Women's Day and happy Women's Appreciation Day. And until we meet again, peace, and I'm out.